Injuries for week 1 make us scramble to the waiver wire for replacements. Today we have 10 players to consider adding before waiver claims process on Wednesday. It's 3 tight ends, 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and 2 quarterbacks to get through. With notable injuries for Jake Ferguson, David Njoku, Kenneth Walker III, Jordan Love, Josh Allen, Puka Nacua, Jordan Addison, and Rome Odunze. Maybe your starter's performance, one way or another, wasn't what you expected. Either way, these options can hold you over until things are back on track. We'll go position by position and from high priority to low. Starting off with Isaiah Likely. Look, unless you have first dibs, he's going to go first overall come Wednesday. But if you're in need, there's no stronger player on the list. He led the Ravens in receiving and targets and was in there 66% of the time. That's all you need to know. If Ferguson or Njoku went down for you, this guy clearly has a large role carved out for him in a great offense. Colby Parkinson. I clowned this guy in my week 1 tight end rankings, and the joke's on me. 88% of snaps, my man finished 4th overall for tight ends week 1, where he was 4 for 5 for 47 yards. That's about all you can ask for this skill position, and with Puka down, it's clear Stafford trusts his tight end to move the ball. And Foster Moreau. 77% of snaps, he finished 2nd only behind Likely for tight ends week 1. I know he's entering concussion protocol, but this position in fantasy is atrocious. Foster is a bright spot in a dark list of viable tight ends. Similarly to Parkinson, he gets home 4 for 4, 43 yards, and a tutty. That's your top tight end waivers. Let's look at running backs. J.K. Dobbins is more than likely already rostered in your league, but if you need an RB and he is not rostered in your league, claim him. Any confusion surrounding the backfield here is quieted by his performance on Sunday. He was out there for 58% of the snaps for 135 rushing on his debut with LA. What more do you want? Justice Hill. 54% of snaps for 3 rushing yards isn't why we're here. It's the 6 for 8 targets for 52 yards that makes him viable. For full PPR, if you're in a bad way at running back, this is a viable running back generating fantasy points. And if you're desperate, the Jags showed that the backfield doesn't belong to just ETN. Tank Bigsby was only in for 32% of the snaps, but with 12 attempts for 73 yards, he made the most of it. And that's more than we can say for some of our starters week 1. These are your best 3 options at running back. Next is wide receiver. Starting with Rashid Shaheed. He's likely taken in your league, but if you had a wide receiver go down like Puka or Addison, there aren't a lot of viable options. The man was targeted 5 times for 3 receptions for 73 yards. He was involved for 68% of the snaps. Derek Carr is going to launch the ball with his eyes closed a few times a game, and when he does, it's going to Shaheed. Tyler Johnson. It's an obvious replacement for Puka, but it's 0% rostered, and Puka slated for 3 to 6 weeks by fantasy doctors. He's not going anywhere. He went 5 for 7 for 79 yards and was in there for 65% of snaps. You can count on him for now. And for the last wide receiver, Greg Dortch. He went 6 for 8 and 47 yards on Sunday. Not the most glorious box score, but the takeaway here is target volume. If Kyler is going to dot him up this much, he can be relied upon for fantasy production if your lineup is thin or suffering from injury. That's it for the skill players. 1 position left, 2 players. Quarterback. If Love went down for you, Baker Mayfield can hold you down for a few weeks until he returns. He threw for 289 yards and 24 completions on 30 attempts and 4 passing touchdowns. What else do you want? And at 13% rostered, you can get him. If Baker doesn't do it for you, Darnold has some good things going for him. I can't believe I'm saying it, but his line, his weapons, his coaching, everything is supporting him to succeed. And his effort had him for 208 yards and 2 passing touchdowns on 24 attempts. These 10 players are the most viable options based off week 1 production, availability, and outlook. If you had an injury or want depth, target one of these guys on your waiver wire and let me know in the comments who you're putting in for and why. If this was useful, like the video and subscribe, turn on post notifications. That's the video. See you in the comments and the next video.